Ma'am, you need to come with us.
I paid for this seat. I didn't do anything.
Let's move.
What's going on?
What's going on is this merger is over. Effective immediately, my company is withdrawing from our $1 billion agreement with your airline.
The cabin lights flickered as the plane taxied to a stop. Passengers stretched, unbuckled, and reached for their phones, everyone ready to disembark. Everyone except one woman. In seat 4A, a calm, composed black woman sat silently, her eyes fixed on the window. Moments later, 2 uniformed officers entered the plane. The whispers began. Who are they here for? Within seconds, all eyes turned toward her. She didn't raise her voice. She didn't fight back. Yet the officers grabbed her arm and ordered her off the plane. Phones came up. Cameras flashed. No one knew that the woman they were humiliating wasn't just a passenger. She was the potential key to $1 billion future for the same airline that had just dragged her away. Watch until the end. Wait a second. Tell us where you're watching from in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more powerful stories like this. Dr. Maya Collins had spent her life breaking barriers. At just 37, she was the CEO of an innovative tech firm that specialized in sustainable aviation fuels. Her company had recently entered final negotiations for a groundbreaking partnership. This $1 billion deal could make air travel cleaner, cheaper, and greener. That morning, Maya boarded her flight quietly, dressed simply in jeans and a blazer, her laptop tucked under her arm. She smiled politely as she found her seat in first class. The day was supposed to be routine, a short domestic flight before signing the final documents that afternoon. As the plane lifted off, she reviewed slides about global sustainability. She smiled, thinking of her father, a mechanic who used to point to the sky and say, "One day, you'll change that world up there." She had no idea that by the time the wheels touched the ground, that dream and the company's most significant partnership would be at stake. It began subtly. A flight attendant passed Maya several times, each time glancing longer than before. When Maya asked for water, the attendant's response was clipped, almost cold. She brushed it off, maybe the attendant was just tired, but when the plane landed, everything shifted. As passengers prepared to leave, an announcement echoed, "Please remain seated. We need one passenger to stay behind for security verification." Maya looked up, puzzled. 2 airport security officers entered. The attendant pointed directly at her. "She's the one." Murmurs rippled across the cabin. Maya felt her pulse quicken as one officer asked her to step off the plane. "Is there a problem?" she asked softly. The officer didn't answer, just gestured to follow. She tried to remain calm. Years of navigating boardrooms where she was the only black woman had taught her to stay composed, no matter how unfair the situation. But when the officers took her arm, she realized this wasn't routine. The whispers grew louder. "What did she do? Did they find something?" A man in a suit shook his head. Unbelievable. Phones were raised. Videos recorded. Outside the plane, she was surrounded by security and questioned. They claimed another passenger had reported suspicious behavior. When Maya asked what that meant, no one could explain. They only said she didn't seem like she belonged in first class. Her bag was searched. Her identification was scrutinized. Her reputation, in that moment, hung in the air, subject to silent judgment from strangers who had no idea who she was. After 20 minutes, a supervisor rushed over, whispering urgently to the officers. Their faces changed. "You're free to go," they said quietly. No apology, no explanation. Just the hollow sound of footsteps as they left her standing alone on the tarmac. But Maya didn't walk away defeated. She said thank you, turned and dialed her phone. The world was about to find out who they had just dragged off that plane. Within an hour, Maya was sitting in the boardroom of the very airline that had detained her. The executive smiled as she entered, unaware of what had happened minutes before. She laid out the documents for the billion-dollar partnership and looked across the table. The same logo from the airplane shimmered on the wall. For a moment, she considered staying silent, keeping the peace for the sake of progress. But then she thought of the humiliation, the cold stares, the silence of those who had watched and done nothing. She closed the folder. "Gentlemen," she said, her tone calm but firm, "I was just forcibly removed from one of your flights because I didn't look like I belonged. The room went silent. Faces turned pale. A nervous cough broke the stillness. She pushed the contract forward. "This deal is off," gasps filled the room. "Dr. Collins, please, this must be a misunderstanding," one executive stammered. She stood adjusting her blazer. "It's not a misunderstanding. It's a reflection." And with that, she walked out, leaving behind stunned silence and a billion-dollar opportunity they'd never recover. The video of Maya's removal went viral within hours. Millions watched in disbelief as security dragged a calm, professional black woman off a plane for no reason. The hashtag #SheDidBelong trended worldwide. News outlets picked up the story, digging into the airline's history of discriminatory complaints. Investors pulled back. Stock prices dipped. The airline's CEO released a statement calling it a regrettable error, but the damage was already done. Meanwhile, Maya turned the incident into a catalyst. She redirected her company's partnership to a competitor airline committed to diversity and inclusion. Within months, her technology was powering the world's first carbon-neutral commercial route, a project symbolizing change born from injustice. But behind every success, a question lingered. Why did it have to take humiliation to be heard? Maya continued her mission, but the memory of that day never left her. It wasn't just about her anymore. It was about everyone who'd been told, silently or directly, that they didn't belong. In the end, she proved she didn't just belong, she led. And for millions who watched her story unfold, she became a reminder: power isn't given, it's reclaimed. So where are you watching from, and what will you do the next time you witness injustice in plain sight? Take care.